Mic check. Mic check.
Is it
Mic
good?
check. Is it good?
Turn it up a little bit. Turn it up just a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
Mic check.
All right, turn
Is
it
that
down
too loud?
just a little bit.
Mic check.
All right, now say, welcome to the Detroit Pierce podcast.
Welcome to the Detroit Pierce podcast.
Perfect. That's our cold open.
Whee!
Welcome back to another Detroit Pierce podcast. I talk about a little bit of everything. NFL, NCAA, European Minute, baseball. I'll talk about anything. Any sport you could ever even imagine, right? But I have to start off with the Lions today. I got the Lions t-shirt on. I got it all. I'm all ready to go. I know I've said this before, that I don't think that the Lions are going to win till Thanksgiving when we play the Bears. But I came in this morning with all the quarterback controversy that the Bears are going through, with everything that's happening, and I genuinely thought to myself, you know what? We played really well against the Ravens. We played really well against the 49ers. Like we're good. Like we fight really hard. We might not be the best coached. We might not have the best talent. I would even say that we are, when it comes to roster talent, second to last, but only behind the Texans, right? So, but at least we play with heart, whereas the Bears don't play with heart. They're not well coached. They're all over the place. The organization's a mess. So I sat there and I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe the Lions could win this game, sneak away with it. Oh, no. No. They decided to lose it within the first 5 minutes, which, by the way, Dan Campbell, the Lions organization, Jared Goff, everybody, I want to thank you. Thank you so much. Really, I really mean this. Thank you. Because for me, I would rather lose in the first 5 minutes than the last 5 seconds. Now, the content and all the retweets and likes and people laughing at me on the internet would say the other way around. But from my heart, honestly, thank you. Thank you for not showing up. Thank you for being absolutely disrespectful, even though the refs called it your way. Thank you. I appreciate it. At least you weren't fake this week and deciding to blow it in the last minute. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for going to our division rival, a team that I hate more than I hate nearly any other team in sports. Thank you for going there and losing it in the first 5 minutes of the game. Thanks. Appreciate it. It was disgusting. I was so I Here's the other thing, and I tweeted this out, and I got a couple people talking crap about it. I really do believe this. I've got my Stafford t-shirt on right now, all right? I think that Stafford, if he was on this team, would have won this Bears game, would have won week 1, and he would have beaten the Ravens. Honestly, I think we'd be 3-1. They've for the first time since I don't know when we finally figured out the offensive line. The defense isn't bad. There's still obvious gapes. There's obvious holes. There's some things that still need to be fixed since Matt Patricia was our head coach. But overall, the defense isn't the worst defense in the NFL. Matt Stafford was working with the worst defenses in the NFL. I really, really think that with this team, Matt Stafford would go 3-1. Really do. Crazy frustrating. So frustrating. Goff Jared Goff, if by some chance, if Jared Goff sees this clip, let me teach you something real quick. Ready? You and me, right here, right now. Ball security is job security. That's it. I don't know anything about football other than that, but ball security is job security. Figure it out. Just stinks. It just absolutely stinks. And I don't... Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Whatever. All right, let's go to the NFL. All right, because I don't want to talk about that too much. I just want to move on. I need to move on mentally. Let's go on to the NFL. Buccaneers-Patriots game just ended. Kind of a boring game. Kind of stinks that it rained. I think that if it doesn't rain, and I think if it's a nice weather game, I think the Bucs put up a lot more points. I think the Patriots moved the ball. Now, I don't know if the Patriots score more points, but I think the Bucs would have moved the ball a little bit more. It wasn't a fun game until the end. Can't really blame the kicker for missing that kick. I mean, it's pouring down rain, 56 yards. That's hard to do. But the Buccaneers, that's a playoff team right there. A playoff team goes on the road and wins it no matter what kind of weather. They are a playoff team. Other than that, though, honestly, other than the Giants and the Jets winning, I didn't think much was Giants, Jets, and the Cardinals. I think those are the three big surprises this week. But the Titans, even though, I mean, the Giants really showed up, but I don't know. Saquon Barkley, they finally figured out. I think the Giants, I think Judge finally figured out, hey, maybe if we give it to that Saquon Barkley guy, we're going to be successful. That's what my biggest takeaway from the Giants game was. From the Jets game, the Titans, they didn't look interested at all throughout the whole entire game. And I think A.J. Brown, Frankie's saying hi. Do you want to say anything, Frankie? A.J. Brown and Julio Jones being out, I think that really, really hurt the Titans in the long run. And then the Cardinals, look, the Rams are still my Super Bowl pick. Really are. I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. I think they beat the Chiefs but like that Cardinals offense, that's not an offense to mess around with. I don't know how, like, I was looking at it. Obviously I'm here in Arizona. I root for Stafford. It's on the back of my t-shirt. My dog wants to say hi for the first time ever. But I don't know how you stop that Arizona Cardinals offense at all. I really don't. I mean, Kyler Murray is so electric. I think Hopkins, the Rondale Moore draft pick was perfect. It was absolutely such a perfect pick for that offense. And if you followed my mock drafts in the offseason, you know how much I liked Rondale Moore. I think just the combination of so many really good offensive players. I think, personally, their offense is better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs, like, don't really have, I mean, CEH is a good running back, but, like, Cardinals have two established running backs. They've got a lot of good wide receivers. They got Max Williams at tight end. I don't know. I don't know how you stop them. I really don't know how you stop that Cardinals offense. Other takeaways, the Packers are strong. The Bengals win in a close one, but they got exposed, I think, by Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's so bad. I think Jacksonville's so bad. Other than that, Washington, it really wasn't surprising. I mean, tell me a game that was surprising. What? You thought that the Panthers were going to beat the Cowboys? You thought, here's the last thing. Last week I told you, the beginning of the season I told you, I love the Indianapolis Colts. I do. I love the Indianapolis Colts. I think they still make the playoffs. They're 1-3. I still think they make the playoffs. I think they're that good. I think everybody talks all this crap about Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, he's not a top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying that. But Frank Wright, he's a top 10 coach. And he's going to be able to take that team to 9 to 10 wins this year. You watch. I'm telling you. That team is very good. They're very tough at home. I would not have bet against the Colts. I would not bet against them this year. They are a very, very good team. But yeah, other than that, I mean, what are you going to say? That you thought that the Broncos were going to beat the Ravens? Ravens are good. Seahawks, 49ers. I love Kyle Shanahan. I saw a couple of 49er fans tweeting today that Kyle Shanahan stinks. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think he's the best coach. I think having the kicker be hurt, I think Garoppolo being hurt, I think it messed with a couple things. I would still have faith in the 49ers to make a run. I don't know if they make I still think they make the playoffs. But other than that, I really think like there was a lot of good games, like Washington and the Falcons. But Washington beating the Falcons wasn't surprising. It was just the score that was surprising. I thought Washington was going to be a top 5 defense. They're the worst defense in the league, it feels like. No, I'm kidding. Arthur Smith is a great coach. And that offense, they've got so many freaking weapons. There's so many weapons. All right. Whew. Last thoughts on the NFL. Browns are good. I think the Vikings are the best 1-3 team. And is there an 0-4 team that is better, that can make the playoffs? No. It's just the Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's funny. 0-4. There's only 2 teams, Jacksonville and the Lions. I guess at least our coach isn't grinding up on some random girl in a Jacksonville bar. What are you doing, Urban Meyer? You make millions of dollars. Why are you at a dive bar? Give me a break. That's all right. That's a whole topic. That's a whole topic I don't even want to talk about. But Urban Meyer, what are you doing? You make billions of dollars and you're in a freaking dive bar where the shoes stick to the ground. What are you doing? You're above that. All right. European Minute coming up. My favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment. Are you ready? 4, 3, 2, 1. European Minute. I honestly don't have much to talk about, especially since F1 is done. Soccer looks, and I watch Premier League, the English Premier League and Champions League mostly, right? And as a Chelsea fan, I have to say, Premier League, I don't see how Chelsea doesn't win the wins the Premier League. I think they're so good. I think they're so deep, and I think that they are better than everybody in Europe, and it's not even close. Really, not in Europe, in England. I think they're so much better. I think you can make the case that Man City's could beat them. I think you can make the case that Liverpool can beat them, especially after that 2-2 tie. You can't make that Manchester United. If I'm a Manchester United fan, I'm sitting there going, oh, God, this really sucks. Updated Premier League standings, in my opinion. Chelsea 1, Man City 2, Liverpool 3, Man United 4. That's your European Minute. Yeah, sorry. No F1, and honestly, kind of a nothing weekend other than PSG losing. Not much happened in Europe. Next week they're in Turkey, F1, and it's gonna rain, so I'm hoping Lando Norris can figure it out. All right, NCAA football. A lot of games happening. Great slate of games last week, right? Great Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Oregon, Stanford, Arkansas, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, crazy Michigan, Wisconsin, crazy weekend, and Baylor, Oklahoma State, Arizona State, UCLA, Fresno State, Hawaii hitting the under. I hate you. Why'd you throw an interception in the end zone? I'm not upset about that, but Fresno State, Hawaii on the island. It's 24-27. I had the over, and the kid throws an interception in the end zone when he should have just take the 3 points and go into overtime. You're going to win anyway, Fresno State. Not the point. Get to the point. Auburn, LSU. So many good games. And honestly, after this week, I think it became absolutely clear what's going to happen. And I told you what was going to happen after week 1. It's going to be absolute chaos every week. Florida's going to lose. UCLA's, who looked like they could make UCLA at one point, I thought before they got killed by Arizona State. They were never in that game. I thought UCLA could win the Pac-12. Obviously, Oregon looked like they were going to make the college football playoff. Clemson obviously is falling completely apart. Texas A&M falling apart. Florida's falling apart. Notre Dame's falling apart. It's just absolute carnage. And it's just going to lead to Alabama versus Georgia in the national championship. I said this week 1. It's going to be absolute carnage. Everything's going to be everywhere. And then it's just going to end up Alabama and Georgia. And they proved it this week. I understand Georgia took on Arkansas. And I'm going to an Arkansas game. I love Arkansas. I think Jefferson is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I think their offensive coordinator is too good looking to be a good coach. But it's just, Georgia's defense is above everybody else's, not even close. And Alabama, they can do so much. It's not fair. It's Georgia and Alabama in the SEC championship game and in the national championship. And if you sit around and you sit there and honestly say to yourself that anybody other than maybe Ohio State, who already lost to Oregon at home, can play with these guys, you're crazy. Nobody can play with these guys. Nobody in college football can play with Alabama and Georgia. They are so much better than Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Iowa, Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Those two guys, it's just them. It's just them. And if you do anything, if you win any bowl game, major bowl game, if you come out here to Phoenix and win the Fiesta Bowl, take that right now. If I'm an Oklahoma fan, I'm looking at my year and I'm like, God, if I could just win the Fiesta Bowl. Because the national championship is done. It's over. It's up to those two guys, not anybody else. Alabama and Georgia are so freaking good. And honestly, I'm still taking Georgia. I said it at the beginning of the year. It was my prediction at the beginning of the year. Georgia, Alabama in the national championship. I'm still taking Georgia. That defense is so good. They're so much better than everybody else. Other thoughts from this weekend. Oklahoma, again, who are they're overrated. Cincinnati, Notre Dame. Notre Dame sucks. Kentucky, Florida. Kentucky at home. Home dogs. You always love a good home dog. And Auburn, LSU. Stop hating Bo Nix. Stop hating Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix. I love LSU. LSU is my second favorite school in the whole entire country, but stop hating Bo Nix. Bo Nix is as good as it gets, baby. He is pure college football. He is college football to a T. I love Bo Nix. Stop hating Bo Nix. Live top 4. I do it every week. I'm going to go Georgia 1. I'm going to go Alabama 2. I think Arkansas is better than Ole Miss. And for 3 and 4, honestly, I genuinely don't know. I don't care. Who cares? I think I'm going to go Penn State 3, Iowa 4. They obviously are playing this weekend. I think they're playing for the college football spot. And if you come at me and say, well, what about Cincinnati? I think they're going to be the first group of 5 team to make the playoff, and they're going to lose by 50 points to Georgia or Alabama, and everybody's going to start shutting up for the rest of eternity. Until they expand the playoff, then they let a group of 5 team in, and then every year they get beat. I think Cincinnati's going to make it, and I think they just absolutely get just demolished. All right. I also think at the end of the year, a team like some stupid team like Wake Forest or Arizona State. I'm an Arizona State guy, but I think like a 1-loss Arizona State or a 1-loss Oregon team or a 1-loss Big Ten team gets in and they get demolished. I mean, it's not even close. All right, next week, I'm going to be in my hometown of Lincoln, Nebraska, okay? Going to the Nebraska-Michigan game. I said this, and it's crazy. I said Nebraska's going to beat Michigan, and Michigan fans are already upset. Look, you're sleeping on Nebraska. Can't wait to vlog it. Really hope I'm not disappointed. But if you're at the Nebraska game and you follow me, please come. I'm hosting a tailgate. Please come and visit. I would love for you to. Heck, that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, gonna go to the Nebraska game. Gonna be tailgating, going to the game. We're gonna have a ton of fun, and can't wait to vlog it. I can't wait to show you Michigan fans how good Nebraska is. Just saying. We win one game, and I'm already drinking all the freaking Kool-Aid. It's really funny. All right, going to the major leagues. Major League Baseball. Season ended today. Tigers, honestly, how can you... My goal for them at the beginning of the year was win 70 games. That was my goal for them, okay? They won 77 games. They, like... All you ask for in a season is for your team to exceed your expectations. You don't, like, obviously, like, I want my team to win the national championship or win the World Series or win the Super Bowl. That's what you want. Of course it is. But genuinely, you just want your team to exceed your expectations. The Tigers did that in every single way. They exceeded my expectations in every single way. And it is the first time since 2006 where they honestly exceeded expectations. This year, AJ Hinch, here's your grade. A+. A+. What a great year he had. And what a great season they did. I mean, honestly. Here's some teams that they beat out, okay? That I think they beat out the Royals. They beat out the Twins. They tied the Angels. They tied the Mets, who at one point was a playoff team. The Nationals they beat out. They beat out the Cubs. They beat out the Rockies. Like, holy crap. If you would have told me that the Tigers beat out the Angels, the Mets, the Royals, and the Twins, I'd have been like, oh my God, we're in the playoffs? That's crazy. Crazy. My dad told me a fun stat. He'll be on the podcast next week. I'll get to that at the very end. If the Tigers would have won 2.5 games each month, they'd have been in the playoffs. 2.5 games more each month, they'd have been in the playoffs. They're this close. They're this close. And here's how I think they make the playoffs next year. I think it's nothing crazy. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You bring up Green, you bring up Torkelson, eventually or right now, doesn't matter. I think you sign Correa, you sign a veteran right arm, Greinke, Verlander, Stroman. You sign a bullpen arm, and you get Chris Taylor from the Dodgers. There's 4 things. Obviously, getting Carlos Correa is a little bit extreme, a little bit on the extreme side. I'm asking for a lot. But I think getting a guy like Stroman or getting a guy like Verlander or getting a bullpen arm and getting Chris Taylor really isn't asking for much. We're not overspending. And I think that turns us in to a wild card contender. We're around. We're not dead September 1. I think by September 25th, we're still in it if we do that. But man, what a fun year. Great year. I have no regrets, no disappointments. Really don't. But MLB postseason, here's my prediction. If you followed me since the beginning of the year, obviously, and you follow me closely, you'll know at the beginning of the year, I placed a bet on one team to win the World Series. Me and a bunch of buddies of mine placed a bet on one team to win the World Series. All right? And that team is still in the playoffs. All right? And that team is going to win the World Series. And I'm not saying that because of the World Series bet. It's because I genuinely believe it. And that team is. I'm doing like a college kid. The Houston Garbage Can Astros. They're winning the World Series this year. It's who I'm backing. It's who I got. I love their team. I've been watching them all year. I love the Astros. I think the Astros win. I really do. I think it's Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker's got the managerial experience. They all have that experience. Carlos Correa, Altuve, Bregman. They all got it. Jake Myers, Husker. I love Jake Myers. They got good bullpen. My Houston Astros are winning the World Series. They are. And I think they beat... I don't like the Giants. I don't like the Braves. And I don't like the Brewers. I'm going to go with the Dodgers. Really think it's going to be Dodgers, Astros. I think the Astros win in 6. Astros beat the Dodgers in 6. And I can cash that ticket. That's my prediction. All right. Final thoughts. All right. Usually I rant about something, but this week I'm going to do a little differently. I'm going to talk about next week. Next week, I am unavailable for Sunday, right? I'm going to be at my wife's family's farm in the middle of Nebraska. I'm going to have no Wi-Fi, no service. I'm not going to have my phone all day Sunday. So I'm going to come back that night. And my dad and I are going to be doing a podcast together and he doesn't watch football. I mean, he dabbles, like he knows a couple of names, but he really genuinely does not watch NFL football. And he's going to explain to me game by game what happened next week. And we'll see. We'll see what kind of information he can give me, and I'll see what kind of takes I can have off the top of my head. But I know he's excited. I know I'm excited. We're going to have a fun show next week. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting. He's a character. He's a lot funnier than I am. But don't tell him I said that. If you clip that and tweet that out and show it to him, I'll deny it. All right? Thank you so much. Thanks for watching /listening to another Detroit Pierce podcast. Again, subscribe and like. Tweet at me, DM me if there's anything you want me to talk about next week, next month, next year. Love to talk to you guys. I like doing this for everybody. Whoever listens or watches. I love doing it. Really. Really do. All right. Can't wait to talk to you next week. If you're in Nebraska, please DM me. I would love to see you. And also, to add on to it a little bit, God bless, go Detroit sports, and go Houston Astros. I need to win a couple bucks, all right?